Uh, just wanted to give a couple of tips regarding seed starts. Hi, Evan. We're checking in on the seed starts today. So if you haven't been joining us, this is our gardening Q&A every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 p.m. We've been doing lots of different topics in the series. We've covered critter control and seed starting and square foot gardening and all sorts of compost, all sorts of different topics. And today we're just checking in to see how everyone's seed starts are going in their home. As those who are trying to get food going for themselves and enabling themselves to feed themselves with the fragility of the food system at the moment. Hi, cousin Flora. How's everybody doing? I know I got a couple in Jersey. I believe you've got a birthday, I think, Evan. Happy birthday. Um, so we'll give another 30 seconds or so, and then I'm going to start in on the few tidbits of information that I wanted to give about seed starting. And I'll show you how my seedlings are doing as well. Hello, hello. Oh, okay. Just stopped by to say hello. Well, it's good to see you. All right. Okay, so the first little, and feel free to throw any questions out there if you think of them or you have them while we're doing this. Um, so, sorry, I'm still getting used to this sort of camera. One of the things I wanted to show you is that if you have seed starts, I'm actually using this barbecue thing because I'm not barbecuing right now. So if you have seed starts that are leaning to the side, they get very long and very leggy. What you need to do is you need to rotate that plant so that it's getting more sunlight on the opposite side. So when they get long and leggy like that, I'm going to see if I can turn this around so you can see some others. So if you look at these, they're leaning, I'll give you a better view, they're leaning this way. And that's because you've turned it around, and some are starting to lean back the other way towards the light to the window. So every day I come and I turn my trays around. Even over there you can see that. They're starting to lean towards the light, the squash is over there. So I need to turn that tray around. So if you don't turn your tray around, what'll happen is that they'll get super long and leggy trying to reach for the light, and they're not as strong, right? So you want to make sure your plants stay really strong, so and as straight as possible. So you want to rotate your seedlings. The other thing you want to do, sorry, just give me a second. I want to grab something a bit better to show you. So this is actually one that I purchased locally. This is a tomato plant that I bought locally because I wanted to have some already started when I went into the garden. So if you're planting seeds indoors, as they grow, just go by and brush them. It's best if you have a fan, one of a proper circulation fan, an old-fashioned one, that is blowing like wind, because it helps to strengthen the plant. Just think if you, it's like it's probably not the best example, but it's like raising a child that never has to accept no, or never has any turbulence. They get out into the world and they have no idea how to handle that wind, and it can make them fall. So with plants are the same way. So you go by and every now and then you brush the plant, and just give it the concept of wind blowing, and it helps to toughen up the base of the plant, so that when they get out in the garden and you get 20-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds, it doesn't break the stem. They might bend and they might bow, but they won't break. So that's really, really, really important. A fan is best, but if you haven't got a fan, just going by once a day, twice a day, whenever you just happen to be walking by, and brushing them will help to stop that. So how is everyone doing with their seed starts? How are you all doing? I'm going to show you this while I wait for your questions. Actually, I'll just bring the laptop. So my tomatoes haven't really started coming up yet, but these are squash. So the squash are going well. So this is wanted to just show you. This is the leaning I was talking about here. Same thing with the cucumbers. So we'll have to turn those around. Remember we talked about the sweet potato and starting it in a cup like this. And this is from Lead Farmer. I think it's Lead Farmer 43 showed us how to do that. And you put it down in the water and you see all those beautiful roots that are starting. Those are going to create slips like this. This one slip had actually already started before I put it in the water, but it was about a fifth of this size. And so now that slip, you could be able to snip off that slip with some of the roots, same as these. You'll be able to pull that off and pop that in the ground with, in order to make your sweet potato plants. So, we were talking about getting started in the house, and it does work. It absolutely does work. Hello. All right, so what questions have you got for me? We're going to make this a super short one. Just wanted to touch base and see how you were doing and to give you those couple tips about the wind and about rotating your trays to make sure that they're getting the best light possible. Hello. Hi, Aunt Linda. Hi, Shirley. So I was just reviewing a couple of tips. I'll let you go back and have a look at that. But please do let me know if you guys have any questions, because we're gonna be super short today. We are gosling heavy. Let's say gosling heavy, but we've we had a loss with some of the geese, and so we've got a few indoors now. Put them in cups, but no luck. Pepper seedlings were weak. Okay, so one of the things we talked about, I think it was before you came on, was making sure that you go by your seedlings. They can be really long and leggy when they're trying to reach toward the light, and if they don't have any wind to kind of toughen them up, they can be quite weak. So one thing you can do is just go by and brush them every day as though it was wind, and it'll help kick them into overdrive for creating this strong cinnamon. This is actually one that I purchased locally. My others are still growing, but it's, it'll strengthen it, because if it gets outside and it never has, even if it doesn't, it never has that wind to kind of force it to toughen up. It'll be long and spindly, and a 20-mile-an-hour wind will hit it and it will break on you. So you definitely don't want them weak. Pepper seedlings weak. I'm trying to think. You put them in cups. Make sure you have plenty of drainage and your soil is not overly wet. What mix are you using? They didn't grow. No, well, this is a pepper, but this is one that I bought locally. So this was a greenhouse grown one. This is not one that I started myself. Tomato seeds take a long time to get going. But if I believe you said you're down south. So what I would do in your case, I don't know if you're in the area that's getting the stormy weather right now, but what I would do is, if it's a decent size at all, I would try maybe popping it in the garden bed. I don't think there's as long as you've got a good balance of compost and whatever other growing medium you're using. If you're using the mix that we talked about, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, then you shouldn't have any drainage problems and you shouldn't have any nutrition problems if you're mixing the compost like that. So I would try getting it maybe in the garden bed, or check your mix to make sure you've got enough compost in. If your soil's quite dry, add a little more compost to boost its nutrition. If it's very, very wet, then you might want to check drainage, check your vermiculite levels or your perlite, whichever one you're using. If you're using a regular potting mix or a regular seed starting mix, you shouldn't have drainage issues. So in that case, I would probably start looking at something else. What you can do, Shirley, is Oh, you put it. She says, "LOL, I put them in the garden yesterday. I was over it, wishing them luck." That's okay. That's all right. You know, you might come out there one day and go, "Oh my goodness, it just took off," and that's okay. Sometimes we do get. I get that way sometimes. You just, you're done kind of nursing it, and you want nature to do what it does, and that's okay too. I think, if you've got a good mix in your garden bed, it'll probably be fine. It might just be a slow starter. No biggie at all. I would keep an eye on them, and then if you need to top it up with a little bit of compost around the top, you can. Or, if you want to do a compost tea, or if you want to, add some natural fertilizer. Biotone makes really, really good stuff. They make all different sorts of um, organic fertilizers for your fruits and veggies. So if you guys are in a situation where you really think your plant needs a boost, then I really do. The biotone is very, very good. It's biotone. There's another one. It's a very, very popular one, but they're out there. Definitely, definitely nothing wrong with topping it up if you want to. All right. Anybody else? All right. You guys can always inbox me if you have questions. Um, it is so crazy busy right here right now. So we've got. Let me see. We've got nine. We've got 11, 12 baby goslings and ducklings that were born here on the property, that are here. We have 20, 30, 40. We probably got somewhere between 50 and 60 turkey poults, chickens, I say chicks, but they're not really chicks anymore, and chicks that are here, that we're looking after until they go outside. So it's it's busy. It's busy. So that's why the short sessions these days. And if it gets really crazy, which it might, we might go down to twice a week. But if there are no other questions at the moment, feel free feel free to shoot me an inbox message, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Um, and I think that will do us. Take care. Take care. Be blessed. And yes, thank you. Thank you. Good luck. Yes, thank you. I'm going to need it. The girls are doing lots of babysitting right now. So they've gotten attached to some of them. So that's, we got to work that out. All right, guys. I will see you on Friday, 4 o'clock. Take care. Don't forget to live life full out, as always. And be safe.